and welcome to Where the Road Rises, Law, Lessons, Legacy, with me, your host, Eileen Curlin-Walsh. All of the news we keep hearing about how red hot the real estate market is right now. Now, since handling real estate relates to my beloved estate planning, we do represent at Curlin-Walsh Law many real estate clients. There are big considerations in real estate transaction, such as purchase price, closing, and contracts often signed quickly. There is much more than the initial love fest when a buyer and seller agree on a contract, and potential issues can arise. Because there are so many players in a real estate deal, we're starting an occasional series here to give you a look behind the curtain so you know what is important to look for. And today we're going to start with the title company. We want a property with clear title. Title insurance prevents clouds such as an old mortgage or a lien on title, but there are other many aspects to title that you should know about. And our guest today will treat us to some insider expertise. He's our go-to title guru, Drew Wishover. He's the owner and founder of the very successful Inspired Title Group. He is also a published author. And with 20 years of experience, Drew and his team facilitate buyers, sellers, agents, lenders on their journey during home buying and selling. And Drew will share his secret sauce with us today. Welcome, Drew.
Welcome. Thank you. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you very much. This is a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, we're delighted to have you on, Drew.
Thank you.
Why don't you get started with telling us a little bit about how you got involved in this title business, which many people really don't know what the heck all this title business is all about.
Yeah, that's such a reality. People definitely don't know what this is. They don't understand it. They know it's a necessary evil. How did I get into it is a story that, I mean, my dad started the business, and literally there was some issues, there were some health issues within the business. So I came from a financial background. I did a lot of financial planning and things. So I saw that there was a need for my assistance, so I came into the office to help out with no intention to be there forever. And here I am today, forever. So I helped out, I got into the business, and I said to myself, I'm going, okay, this is something I need to make fun, because like you said, nobody knows about it. So I tried to add my own spin to it with just, bringing in some of the younger folks and trying to make the experience of buying and selling a home a little bit more fun, and making it impactful for, the closing process is nerve-wracking. You know it as an attorney. We know it as a title company. There's so many things that have to be done and taken care of properly, and meticulously attention to detail. And that's what we do. We're a smaller company, so we can do that and concentrate on those things.
So, Drew, why don't you tell our viewers what the title company, could you boil it down to why we need a title company as part of a closing process? One, this mysterious title insurance, and then two, the role of the title company in facilitating the transaction.
Absolutely. So a title company is different than any other insurance that you'll buy. A title insurance is very different. When you buy insurance for like your auto, for your health, and it protects you today going forward. Title insurance protects you from today, everything that happened behind you. So everything that happened within that property is being dealt with, and making sure that you are the rightful owner of that property. There are no other liens, there are no other encumbrances on that parcel, that home. It's not homeowners insurance, it's title insurance. You have a rightful title ownership to that property. So we go through the background and the history when we start the deal to determining what's happened on this property, what's going on. Have all the transactions from the past coming forward been done cleanly and correctly? So then we can issue a title insurance policy that protects the new buyer and the lender. There's two types of insurance. There's a loan policy and an owner's policy. The loan policy protects the lender because they're making a loan to you for a period of 30 years. If something happens, they want to be protected, okay? And then there's the buyer, the owner. So if anybody comes in and says, well, I own that property now, no, you don't, because now you're protected by this because we did our research behind the scenes. It's not glamorous, it's not beautiful, but it is a necessary part of this transaction, and it has such a huge impact. And really the cost of what it is for what that protection is nothing.
Yes.
You pay for it one time. Whereas health insurance you're paying monthly, auto insurance you're paying monthly, you pay this one time when you buy that house, it's over. And you are now protected until you sell that house.
Yes, true. And
Yeah.
it's such an incredible responsibility.
It is.
The buyers are thinking about the home, the neighborhood, the schools. They're thinking about what they can afford, not what happened in that land, whether there was a petrol station and
Yep.
there was a tank buried there 30 years ago.
Right.
And that's your job,
Right.
to ensure that they take clean title. There's not a single thing that's going to come up that's going to affect the property
Yeah.
or their right to it in the future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a necessary part of that transaction that nobody knows about, and that's where they rely on you guys as the attorneys to just guide them through that process. But I have been taking my last 5 or 6 years of doing this to try to educate the community about the importance of it and really what it is to make it something that there's an awareness.
Yes.
I've heard that term. I know a little bit about it because I saw this guy talking about it. And they have an ability to go and shop that around because title companies are different. They're very different. Mine is different than a lot of others.
And let's talk about that. Until you, Drew, started taking Title Company and you do your show,
Right.
You have Title Talk,
Title Talk,
is it every
Every
week?
Thursday, yep, every Thursday.
week, and you bring on guests, but always you're talking about title, you are educating
Yes.
your viewers,
Yes.
us about title. So that's something that's different
Yes.
about your title company. Tell me some other differentiation.
Yeah, and the one that you mentioned is a big one. The second thing I think that is really separates us from the other folks is we're a boutique title company. We're smaller. You're not going to get lost in the shuffle of transactions. We know your transaction very intimately. When a question is asked of our team, they know your file, they know everything, the back history, the backstories, a lot that's happened about it. Whereas some of the bigger folks, and not to besmirch them, they're just going through and they're just processing the deal, right? Get it done. We try to build a relationship. We try to give them an experience. Give them, the home buying thing should be fun. The home buying thing is for first-time home buyers, for people who are they're buying their forever home. We want to make that transaction something that they're going to remember and make it just smooth. So we take out all the worry and kind of do the hand-holding. And we've done a lot of hand-holding for the professionals in the business where handhold that attorney who is really busy. We can help them through this process. So we just have that personal touch, and we're just very community-driven.
And full disclosure, viewers, we at Curlin Walsh Law have worked with Drew for many, many
Yeah.
years. Everything he says is absolutely true. You would be so surprised at what comes up in title.
Oh.
We find many, many surprises, often not pleasant, on title. So we order the title company does all that search, and then now what do we do? Because we have to give nice, beautiful, clean title to the buyer.
Right.
That's what a lender wants to ensure. That's what a lender wants to give a loan upon. So absolutely, we have never come across a problem that Drew and his team were not able to work out to everyone's satisfaction. So I will verify that what Drew says about his title company is true. So Drew, because of that, you just said that you see people at a very stressful time. Maybe
Definitely,
they've gotten
yeah.
divorced, maybe they've just gotten married, maybe they've had their baby, they're kind of building up, maybe people are kind of going to a smaller home, they're downsizing. So what has that taught you on a philosophical level about humanity, dealing with them, not just hand-holding, but you've got to have learned something about us during that time?
Yeah, and that's an interesting question because I think up until recently, the process of what we did was just that. It was a process. And then, like I said, something inside of me said, it doesn't have to be. Because of what you just said, everybody's got something going on, right? Whether they're coming out of a divorce, this is something that is very traumatic. We understand that, we get it, so we're gonna have a sense of compassion to that client. we know intimately the details about what's going on with that deal. We can see it through the past based on the history of the property. What how many times it's turned over. Oh my gosh, this went through a foreclosure. Oh my gosh, these folks have been in bankruptcy. We learn some of the dirt behind the scenes. But that doesn't mean that we judge them. Actually, we kind of turn the other way and go, oh my, that's, the stigma of, oh, you went into foreclosure, you're a bad person.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what this is. I mean, look at the market. Look what's happened in the climate of what's going on between the pandemic and even prior to that with the market crash. It's nobody's fault.
Yes.
So we were very compassionate to understanding these things, and we adjusted and we shifted what we did to accommodate people and meet them where they are.
Yeah.
Meet people where they are. And that is exactly what I teach as I mentor people and kids and young adults and even to my team. I literally say, let's meet them where they are and understand that what they have going on is big and tough for them. So let's be sensitive to that and really pay attention to helping them through that process.
And be part of their new beginning.
Absolutely. It's
story.
such a big story. Turn the page. Write another page.
Oh, viewers, I
Love
love
it.
that.
Love
I love
it.
that, Drew. You also, because somewhere here you have to sleep, but before
Yeah.
we talk about your book, in addition to Inspired Title, you have a development
I do.
group also, a building company.
I do. We are so as much as I said title, I said, okay, I need to do things that I enjoy as well. Title I wasn't passionate about it. I was filling a role helping out my dad, and then all of a sudden I started my own company, and I said, well, okay, what else do I love to do? And building is something I love. I've been doing it since I've been a young adult, 16 years old. That was my first career, first job. And so I wanted to see this really just matched. You can incorporate the two. Well, that led to me starting a development company where we're doing a lot of remodeling and rehabs. We're doing new construction in Indiana. We're licensed in both states of Illinois and Indiana. I'm very, very proud of that. And a bigger thing for this, Eileen, honest to God, is we are doing some community works in the city where we're working with the Black Coalition for Housing, and we're bringing back neighborhoods. We are doing projects in the city, and we're not gentrifying. We're helping these folks. I'm remodeling these homes, and we're helping them with their credit and clear up all that, and we're putting these folks back in those homes. That, for me, is the coup de grace. To watch. I'm not saying that I'm going to be the city savior, but with the team that we have and the relationships that we've made, we are starting to make an impact on doing some things in some rougher neighborhoods in the city and taking on those challenges with the support of a team that we've built through community and who we are as the name and team Inspired. People just, I've said it to my team, I've said it to you guys, I've said it to, I say it on Title Talk all the time, align with people who are similar to than you. And that's why we've been together for as long.
Yeah.
Working with development is going, I can utilize a skill that I have to put it into a benefit for others. Yeah, I'm all in.
Absolutely, and be part of the solution.
I'm
we see
all
the
in.
problems in Chicago every day and shake our heads. So to be part of the solution is wonderful too.
Yeah.
And in the midst of all that, or in addition to
Yes,
all that,
yes.
you wrote a book. So show us your book, Drew, and
I
tell
wrote a
us
book.
about it.
It's called The 2-Hour Difference. So there was this thing called the pandemic, and COVID happened, right? So I said, I needed a challenge. I needed something else. I had 2 businesses. I had just run the marathon, Chicago Marathon. I said, okay, I've done these things. I always look to push myself and challenge myself. And I said, what else can I do? What other things are out there? My wife and I are sitting on the deck and we're talking. She's like, she goes, you have so many stories. She goes, you have so many things, experiences that have happened. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna start to write a book. It can't be hard. I ran a marathon. I'm gonna write a book. I'll run a marathon again before I write a book. This was 9 months of, oh my gosh. I never imagined what this was, but man, did this bring back so much. I wrote it based on, I was a baseball coach, I still am for 25 plus years. Coached my boys, I've coached travel baseball for forever. And I did it through I grew up in Palos. I did it, I worked and did a lot of travel ball through the Palos Youth Organization. And I started to like watch these kids develop and grow. And it was more about, it wasn't about the game. It wasn't about winning. It was about the lessons that they learned. In 2 hours, of coaching a kid, the lessons that you can give them, the impact that you can make they're incredible. They're absolutely incredible. So I go through and talk about those lessons. I go through and talk about the difference between a good coach and a bad coach. One of my pet peeves of everybody gets a trophy. Well, wow. I mean, all of that is just in here. It's on Amazon. It's available. You can get it. It's an amazing read for all types of people, whether you're a coach, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a player, whether you're just a parent who is kind of looking for some direction. The impact I've made, I'll give you a little bit. There's a story in here that I was invited to 2 graduations from my ball players, from former players. They both mentioned me as something that impacted them in their lives. They said, there's my coach is in the room here today. He was a valedictorian. He's speaking at his graduation, and he says to me, or he says to the audience that, my coach is in the room, if he could please stand up. And I'm going, you got to be kidding me, right? I stand up, and he says, you're the reason I'm standing up here today, because you spoke to me and said that if you quit, if you give up, it's over. Like, you inspired me never to give up. You motivated me to if you quit and give something up, you're gonna be running the rest of your life. It's over. So I spoke a lot of different lessons into these kids, and I taught the game. We had lots of success. We had lots of fun, but it wasn't about winning and losing to me. It was about the messages that these kids took, when I think about those times, I mean, I was in tears in front of this audience, going, I just got mentioned to this young child, this young adult who's graduating high school, and the impact that I made.
So that was the lessons you taught them, impactful lessons. What about writing a book about it during a pandemic, which interrupted so much of what we were doing in life?
Yeah.
What did it teach you about you, Drew?
It really motivated me to continue to share my story. It really motivated me to get involved with and share my message. And impact people and make a difference. That's what I told my team at the office, that one of my goals within the next couple years is to partner up with Habitat for Humanity, and as proceeds from what we do, the gift of what our business has done, I want to build a home that is inspired title, inspired development, supported with Habitat for Humanity. So it's inspired me to just give back to the community, because I know that I have something that maybe a lot of people don't have. I don't know why that's a gift. I don't care. I want to share it. I want to give it. I want to speak it, and it's important to me.
And that would lead right into my next question.
It's amazing how that works.
What does guide your life? What, if you had to pinpoint a principle or a value that you live by, either you chose to live by it, or as you reflect upon your life, you see that that's a common theme, what would it be?
I've really given that some thought to say that, it's like anything else. I think it changes as we have different seasons of our lives, right? As we go through different chapters in our book that we're writing every day. But I think right now, and in the place that I'm at right now, making a difference in somebody's life every day. That is kind of my mantra, my motive every day is, I want to impact somebody every day, whether it be little or big, in a positive way. I want to impact and make a difference in somebody's life every day, and really writing that book allowed me to dig into that and tap that, and just continue to write my story. The things that are behind me, those are over. I can't do anything about them, but I can turn the page and write stuff new. And I learn from those, and that's great, but I can't go backwards. Like the old adage, the rear view mirror is much smaller than the window in front of you, right? And that's what I live. I speak that going, guys, you can look in that rear view mirror, it's this big, but how about that big window of life right in front of you?
Yeah.
Go get it.
And that's your mentorship, right?
Yeah.
You do, because you have figured that out.
Yeah.
And from all your years of teaching baseball and the lessons you learned from that, you do mentor young people
Yes.
as they graduate high school, as they go into business.
Yeah.
So what would be a piece of advice, your pearl of wisdom that you would give to young people wanting to be like you, wanting to be successful, wanting to have their own business?
You know, everybody looks for that short, easy, quick path. You know, life is full of lessons, and if you move through life so quickly, you're going to miss them. You're going to fail. You're going to have moments and times where life is just going to beat you up. It's a season. What you can tell yourself is you can look back and go, wow, I got through all those things. I'm going to be okay.
Yes.
Like, recognize the fact that I'm going to fall down, I'm going to get back up, because I went through some stuff before, but I'm okay. You're going to be okay. And really living and proving that to myself allowed me to breathe this into some of the young kids and people coming into the business and saying, you know, how can I become successful? Well, successful is measured differently by everybody, right? So my success is different than your success, so I can't necessarily answer to that, but I can tell you that if you want to be the best person that you can be, and don't look for the easy way, don't look for that shortcut, fall down, learn, fail, make it a try, but get back up every single time, because you're going to be okay, and you're just going to be okay.
I love that, audience. I think that just about concludes for today, but I know we're going to be hearing a lot more on PHTV from Drew Wishover. How about a couple things. Maybe first tell our viewers how they could get a hold of you if they have questions about your book, about your building, about title company,
Absolutely.
how they can get a hold of you. And then if you have any little closing words of wisdom or thoughts or a favorite poem that you'd like to share.
Sure. So you can get a hold of me at Inspired, Inspired Title Group. Our phone number is 708-598-5084. You can email me at Drew, D-R-U, at inspired-title.com. Would love to talk to you about my book. I would love to talk to you about mentorship. I would love to answer any questions you have about title or, buying a house, selling a house, foreclosure, forbearance, short sales. We do it all, and we have a team, obviously with Eileen as well, that can really help you guys if you're in any kind of trouble. And literally words to live by or leaving words of advice. I have it tattooed on my body. It's you can do all things through Christ. You got to believe. It's really you cannot allow yourself to just fail and sit down. You got to get back up and get after it, because that's the strength that we all need. Go get it. You can do all things through Christ. Yeah.
I love it. So believe in yourself.
Absolutely.
And believe in something bigger than yourself.
Absolutely. Definitely
as
bigger.
You walk your path through life.
Amen.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Drew.
Such a great time.
Wonderful
This
to
was
have you on
great.
the show.
Thank you.
Thank you, viewers, for watching, and we will see you next time on Where the Road Rises. Thanks, and bye.